How does mental health relate to money for you? So this isn't something that we always talk about, but mental health, just like everything else, has to have some relation to money. So one of the ways that you could think about would be, how are your spending patterns? And do those have any relation to kind of how you're doing mentally? So for instance, if you are having a really hard time, whether you're depressed or whether you're just having a downtime for, a few days or a week or something, do you find that you spend money more freely, or you save money because you're not going and seeing friends or whatever? Or maybe when you are feeling really good, maybe that's when you decide to spend a lot of money. Maybe it's on Fridays, it's the end of the work week, and you are just ready to let loose, and maybe that's where a lot of your money goes. So it's kind of important to think about what are our patterns and what's driving those patterns, so that we can understand ourselves better, and then we can kind of take control if we need to. If you're overspending and you're finding that you're overspending in specific situations, then you can take steps to change that. Either you can increase your budget for those situations, or you can rearrange that situation a little bit to try to keep better track of your money. Another thing to think about is that the way that we spend our money has a lot to do with what we value. And so if you are finding that you're not spending money on anything for your mental health, does that mean that you're really not valuing your mental health? And is that something that you might need to think about changing? Or for instance, maybe you are, maybe you have a gym membership, and that's because you recognize that when you get exercise, you are much healthier in terms of your mental health. And so maybe you work the gym membership into your budget, because that's one of the ways that you can support your mental health. Or maybe you set aside money so that you can go see a therapist. And so you're setting aside some of your money because you're finding that working with a therapist is really helping you. I know during the pandemic, a lot of people saved a lot of money because they weren't going out and doing things. And I remember talking to some of my students as kind of things were opening up a little bit, asking them how they were doing and what they were going to do. And I remember some of them being very intentional and saying, I saved money, but it was at the expense of my mental health. And I am setting aside money to go have experiences and to go spend time with my friends, because that's something that I do really care about and I really value. And it's something that I know is really good for me. And so I think it's important to, one, try to think about how your mental health interacts with money, whether you're spending money on mental health because you want to or not, or because you're spending money in different ways based on kind of your moods and how things are going for you. But then also thinking about if this is something that you value, which I hope that we all value mental health. I hope that we're all doing something every day for our mental health. Making sure that you have space in your budget for that, because that is really important. And taking care of it on a daily basis or on a regular basis is going to make everything a lot easier than, say, having a breakdown later because you didn't take care of yourself. So whether that's spending money on getting a babysitter so you can get some space, or getting away and going and staying in a cabin in the woods, definitely think about how you can use your money to support your own mental health.